Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So today is BookList Thursday, and all November long in BookList Thursday, for BookList Thursdays, we are going to be bringing you genre recommendations for genres we are very thankful for. So last week I talked about historical fiction books. This week I'm going to talk about thrillers. So BookList Thursday is something I do with Sarah over at Sarah's Nightstand. We come to you every Thursday with some sort of book thoughts, ideas, recommendations, something bookish related. I do have to apologize for lighting. Daylight savings time is not my friend right now. It isn't that late, it's like 5 o'clock. Not bad, but we are full on dark out. So this is just the best I'm gonna have to do for now and make sure I pre-film from here on out when it's a little later out. But, all right, so my genre I'm thankful for is thrillers. I think I mentioned that before. Sarah and I probably will have some overlapping genres, but we didn't talk about this beforehand, so I have no idea what she will be thankful for this week. I know she was thankful for genres last week. Make sure you go check that out. So a couple of ours might be a little similar, but I've got some different ones for you to think about too. So we'll start with the books that I've read that I'm super thankful for. The first one is Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. Sarah also talked about this book. From a thriller perspective of being raw and very graphic, Pretty Girls is your friend. It's pretty disturbing. It follows the story of sisters. Sisters are best friends. One of them has been missing, kind of thought to be murdered. The other one's married to a pretty perfect man, but yeah, they're sisters, and she just can't get it out of her mind as far as what happened to her sister. So she continues to really investigate what exactly went on, and some stuff happens. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So read that book. The next one, of course, I want to talk about is kind of a very obvious one. Sarah also talked about this one, is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. This is the book that kind of reignited my passion for reading again. I loved reading as a child, and then kind of grew into adolescence and didn't read a whole lot because I had other things to do, and then this book came out and like rocked my world. So there's just so much about this book that I love, besides the fact that it got me back into reading, but just the twists and the way it's told and the ending. As much as I hated it and threw it across the room and literally got rid of my first book that I read because I was so pissed about it, the fact that a book can get you to feel those kinds of emotions, it is top dog in my world if that happens. So the next book I want to talk about is Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. This follows the story of a couple. What are their names? Jack and Grace. And they seem to have the perfect life until you find out what happens behind closed doors. This was another very psychological thriller for me, where you are just taken on this ride that at points you're just like what happened? What is going on? How is this going to resolve itself? And so much packed into such a little book. So Behind Closed Doors. Along that same kind of theme is Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough. Another one where we follow this woman. She's a single mom, and she meets this really amazing man and has kind of a little bit of an affair with him, and then later finds out he is her new boss. Whoops. And he's married to an amazing woman whom she becomes friends with. And that's good, and there's a lot of like, does she cover up what happened? Does she be honest with her new friend? They're just new friends, and then some other things happen where it's so unbelievable, yet you can't help but follow along because it's, again, another wild ride. And then the last recommendation I have for you, of course I don't know where the book is because I'm still missing it, is No Exit by Taylor Adams. This follows a girl who's in college and kind of was on the outs with her mom. They didn't have the best relationship until she gets a phone call from her sister saying her mom is very, very sick and probably not going to make it through the weekend. And so she feels it in her heart she needs to drive home and kind of make things right with her mom. The only problem is there's a really bad snowstorm, and I don't know, I think this takes place in Colorado. There's mountains involved. And she has this little car that she has to attempt to drive home and go through these mountains during this bad snowstorm, and she gets to a point where her windshield wipers are broken, her tires are not that great, her car is just not going to make it. So she pulls into this rest stop, and she's there with, I believe, 4 other strangers who are kind of stranded because of this storm, and things happen. And that book was so suspenseful and so action-packed. I could not put that down. I read it in a day. It was crazy. So those are some books that I have to recommend for you from a thriller genre. The next few books I have my eye on to read. The first one you've heard me talk about before is The Whisper Man by Alex North. I know all of you that have told me to pick this up. I know I need to get to it. I just have some other obligations I've got to read first, but this is definitely on my radar. This follows, I believe a boy goes missing. Yep. Follows the story of Tom and his son Jake. They moved to this new town, Featherbank, to kind of begin anew after his wife passed away. And this town has a really dark past. There was a serial killer that was there about 20 years ago who abducted and murdered 5 residents. And he was nicknamed the Whisper Man. Well, once these two, Tom and Jake, kind of settle into this new house, another young boy vanishes, and it appears that the Whisper Man is back. So I've heard it's creepy, I've heard it's dark, I've heard it's all of the good thriller things I love. So that is definitely on my radar. And the next one I have on my radar, I literally just got today. Like, walked in the door and this was here. It's my recent book of the month book called The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. I've read Lisa Jewell before, but that was more of her like family drama contemporary type of a book. I haven't read her other thrillery books. And so this follows, let's see, I think this will just do it justice. So soon after her 25th birthday, Libby Jones returns home from work to find a letter she's been waiting for her entire life. She rips it open, and in one driving thought, she's like, I'm finally gonna know who I am. She learns not only the identity of her parents, but also that she is the sole inheritor of the abandoned mansion on the banks of the Thames in London's fashionable Chelsea neighborhood. The home, even in its dilapidated state, is worth millions. Everything in Libby's life is about to change. What she doesn't know is that others have been waiting for this day as well. And although they've been in hiding, they're now heading her way. I believe there's some paranormal, there's some ghosts involved. Yeah, so there's some secrets, there's some lies involved. It just sounds fantastic and looks like a creepy cover to me. But I'm very excited for that one as well. So I can't wait to start hearing what other people think. So those are my favorite thriller recommendations. A couple that are on my radar that I'm super excited about, but thrillers is definitely one of my favorite genres, and I'm super, super thankful that they exist. They seem to be the books that I fly through the fastest because I just want to figure it out. I'm also I don't get too upset if I figure out what it is because I'm usually looking for it. I try to go into books and just take them as they are and not make as many guesses, but it's hard to do that. So I love a good twist. I love suspense. I love if you can scare me. It's fantastic. I just love them all around. So let me know down below, are there any good thrillers that you've read lately that you think I should look into? Otherwise, hop over to Sarah's channel over at Sarah's Nightstand. Links below. Check out which genre she's thankful for today. Like, subscribe, all of that fun stuff. And I'll see you next time. Bye.